Dante's so disappointed.
So,
What's wrong, Dante?
it's just everything's so ghetto.
It is, bro.
You should be used to it.
Do y'all remember when?
Didn't you grow
Whoa!
What are you trying to say?
Didn't you grow
What
up?
are you trying to say?
Are you trying to say Oak Cliff is ghetto?
Is it not?
Isn't that what y'all want to say?
That's what you say. That's what you say all the time.
Every
I
time
don't
somebody,
say Oak Cliff is ghetto.
you know what? Every time
Every time
somebody,
you throw it up, what do you be saying?
That's my hood. That's my hood. It ain't ghetto.
The ghetto.
see, I don't. My neighborhood. What?
Hood is short for neighborhood.
Yeah.
Dante.
You didn't know that?
DISD.
I'm so mad the light went.
The light bulb went off.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that. You can't make this up.
Dante, you looked right at me and I saw the, what's it called, Eureka?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. Hood is short for neighborhood.
Oh.
I'm learning a lot of things. I'm learning a lot of things like as I'm older in life. Like, did you know if you have on a white shirt, you're not supposed to wear a white wife beater, because then people can see your wife beater. You're supposed to wear like a dark color wife beater.
But you can
Who
still
put
see
you
it.
on? Who put you on?
No, you can't. Well, you light skinned.
Who put you on?
But for me, JJ actually put me on game.
When, last weekend or something?
No, this past
Just over the
weekend,
weekend.
our homeboy had a white. He had a white shirt on.
White
and
tee?
He had a white t-shirt on, but you could see his wife beater underneath. He had a white wife beater on, and then JJ was like, "Hey, bro, if you put a dark, like a black wife beater on, you won't be able to see it." He went and put a black wife beater on, and you couldn't see it.
Yeah, bro, because we're black. We can't. We're not supposed to wear white underneath a white. It'll show up.
I didn't know
So
that.
what about me?
Ooh.
Red bone? He'll be the red one.
Do not,
Nah, I
do
think-
not call me a red bone.
You're a red
I
bone.
think black would still work for you.
Okay.
But bro, it blew my mind because I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro.
Science.
Yeah, if
I
you wear a
think
dark colored shirt under a white, you're good.
Did
It
you
can
learn?
be.
Did you learn it from your dad?
I learned it from my mom.
Well, my mama left me hanging.
What you mean you not learning from my dad?
You try-
it just
are you
seems-
trying to say, is that why you didn't?
That's probably why I can know it. What I'm trying to say is there are certain things that I feel like dads pass down to their sons.
Nah, my mom
My
actually
dad
told
didn't
me.
pass that down to me.
The wife beater. The wife
I was like, wait, which direction you going? Because you talking about a white beater, you talking about.
Oh no, no, not beating.
All right, man. This is
I don't know. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Soundboard Podcast. It's your boy Dante. I'm a little hoarse, but I'm here with the two kings.
You already know what it is. What's up with it? It's your boy JJ.
This is Coop.
And this is episode 8. Now, guys, please bear with me. I'm hoarse. I don't know.
You're Dante.
I know. I don't know who been praying for my downfall, but I need you to know God is spinning the block. And he don't play about me. I done had more health challenges in this season than any other season of my life. So just bear with us, guys. This episode, I'm going to be a little hoarse.
Your voice
But
actually sounds better than it did.
when I
earlier,
first came
though.
in,
Yeah.
It's cough drops.
it's the cough drops.
It's the T.
No, it's not. Bro, so JJ called me earlier because he already knew I was hoarse. And he was like, bro, you need to go get some tea. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Starbucks because I don't want to buy a whole bunch of tea because I hate tea. Mm-hmm. And so then
I said, bro, just go get some.
He
Go
was
get
like-
some tea, some honey, and some lemon.
You've been
the
straight.
Tea, the tea, not from Starbucks. The tea that you with the herbs. Get the herbs.
yes,
Oh,
but
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
the, but
That-
this is
you
the
went
thing.
straight.
I hate tea. And so now I got this box of peppermint tea and I only popped one. And now 11 of them going to go to waste because I'm not going to drink it.
You should have got the lemon ginger tea.
They didn't have it where I went.
Oh.
Okay. Well, anyways, y'all want to give some updates? What? So, where were y'all at this weekend?
Yeah, Dante, why you hoarse?
First of all, I'm hoarse because people want to keep you in a room with 60-degree weather and then with a ceiling fan on, and I slept under the ceiling fan. Also, I had a little fun this weekend. I probably was talking louder, but I'm also going to blame this girl. We went to go eat some food at one of my favorite places in Houston. Cause
You went to eat with a girl? Was it Liv?
No, nigga.
You went to eat with a girl that wasn't Liv?
I did. I said it's gonna be a struggle for me. No, we were in Houston. We went to go eat at this restaurant called Prospect Park.
Mm-hmm.
These 3 little girls next to us wanted to be hookah baddies.
Oh, yeah, they
and
did,
was
bro.
blowing the hookah
In your face?
like dang near in
Right,
my
basically.
face, like basically in our face. So I think the hookah coupled with me talking louder than normal, coupled with me sleeping under a fan in a freezing cold room, it just messed my.
You are the weakest vegan I've ever met. Your immunity is supposed to be way up there.
Bro, I don't think it's immunity. I think I have weak vocal cords.
Just get a ribeye, bro.
Get you
Get
some.
you a
You
good-
need protein.
Good steak.
I eat
A
protein.
good steak, bro.
I eat protein. Anyway, we were in Houston this weekend. We went with some of our chapter brothers. It was a really good weekend, bro. And the crazy thing is, they were going down there for a Greek picnic. We didn't end up going to that because
Yeah,
we
we in the game for a minute.
yeah, we grown. But it was the best moments were like the moments where we were just chilling at the Airbnb, laughing and joking, bro. And so it was just a really good weekend, like filled with a whole bunch of laughs and just celebrating each other's accomplishments. Like I think we take for granted, like your friends really be out here making moves.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, and so at one point we were just talking about like, hey, bro, because shout out to our boy Brian. Brian ended up getting a new job, making more money. He's really excited about it. So then we start going around the room like, who else got something that's worth celebrating? And people just start naming stuff, bro. And it was just amazing just to
Yeah,
to
man. It's
hear
always-
it celebrate.
It's always good to be in a room where you celebrating accomplishments.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When you get to see your boys doing something good, it's a great feeling, man.
Because that mean he in the neighborhood.
Down
God
the
in the
street.
neighborhood.
Down the street.
He's spinning the block. He coming back around.
That
And
next house is yours.
unless you trash. And then he just skipped right past your house. But yeah, bro, so we were there this weekend. It was a really, really good weekend. It was a lot of fun. So that's my update.
That's what's up, JJ.
Yeah. I mean, I was in Houston with Dante this weekend. It was a good time. I also enjoy the brotherhood. I can always appreciate that. But I recently was I had the pleasure of being on a podcast by a good friend of mine. I used to go to church with, French.
That's how it always.
Montana.
That's
All
how-
things fine and gentry.
Shout out to All Things Fine and Gentry.
He's trying to break away.
You see when people start doing solo
is
albums.
he
no, I
stealing
shot
our
it.
talent?
I still shouted out the pod though. You know what I'm saying? I still shout out the pod.
Beyonce shouted out Destiny's Child, but she still left and did a single album.
Nah, but it was good. It was cool. I appreciated being on the pod.
So what did you guys talk about on the pod?
He's doing a series on his podcast talking about the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
And you was on it?
Yes, sir. That's why you didn't get the call.
Extraordinary.
Yeah. So basically, he was just talking about, just basically wanted to know my story, essentially from my upbringing to the diversity in education to where I am now in life to, starting off with a podcast and a blog of my own. So kind of just sharing a little bit about that. So
And what was the gym? What was the best gym you dropped?
The best gem I dropped was that I was doing the pod without y'all.
I'm over here like really.
I thought he was really about to say something good.
So yeah, that was cool. Also, speaking of health, I went to the PCP last week. So it was my first time going to the primary care physician.
Oh, I was like PCP.
PCP.
Bro, why was I sitting over here like
That's a drug. I thought.
I seen Coop.
that is a
I
joke.
seen Coop. His face. He didn't know what I'm talking about. But
So you had to explain.
because we talked about health
And going
a
to
few
the doctor.
episodes before, and I hadn't been to the doctor since like 2018. So I took y'all's insight, and I went to the doctor just for an annual visit.
And what they do?
They just asked me a bunch of questions. I got to do some blood work, and they'll check all my numbers and everything.
So this is always the awkward part for me when going to the PCP. When they gotta
You want to throw out
Now
PCP.
you know PCP.
when they gotta check your manhood.
Oh, they didn't do that.
They didn't do that? Nah, bro, what kind of doctor you go to?
It wasn't a physical though.
Then what was it?
Oh, maybe that's a physical.
I mean,
No,
you
they
should
check
get a
your blood
physical.
work. They check your blood work. They check your balls.
they didn't do the second part.
I don't know what type of doctor you go to, Dante.
No,
You
y'all,
got a little
there's
freaky.
No, y'all.
Your doctor comes with happy endings.
No. First of all, whoa, wait. This is a family-friendly show.
5 years ago, you didn't know what PCP was. Maybe it was a different acronym.
No, y'all, they try to check you, bro. Like,
Dante be like, oh man, I hurt my finger. Like, drop him.
Cough 3 times.
yo, testicular cancer is real.
No, that's real.
Okay,
Like,
it's not laughing matter.
no,
Okay.
that's why they check your.
You're right.
Your
No, they
man.
do. They do. They didn't do that this time though. They're checking blood work and they asked me a bunch of questions. So
Okay.
maybe I need to go back and get that checked.
Hey, I was just here. Can y'all check my balls?
Yeah.
Nah, but that is something. They did ask about history though.
Okay, so maybe that's.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that comes later on or if you have to have symptoms or signs, where they'll check that for you. I just know like when we were growing up, they always would do that if you were having a physical to play sports.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I go to the doctor for.
Yeah, for that. But they didn't do it this time. But then again, I ain't been in 3 years, so I don't know if they changed their protocols.
Maybe
Maybe it's something different.
Maybe people were taking advantage of checking that, and they just they
Yeah,
cut it
maybe they
off.
went to the same doctor you was going to.
I see what kind of episode this is gonna
So
be.
yeah, so that's it, man. Then I had some family in town also the weekend before, so it's good to go to brunch with some of my family on my dad's side. So it was good to catch up. It's always good to be around family. I think the pandemic has showed me like the importance of just relationships and
Right.
just being able to spend time like that. So it was cool to catch up with some family.
That's what's up, man.
Cool.
Well, as everybody
good in your
knows, my wife is pregnant.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't know is she had the baby.
Woo! My niece is here. My niece is here.
So,
Congrats to y'all, man.
thank you, man. It's been a
Congrats.
busy week.
It was a healthy.
Healthy baby. She is 2 months early, but she is healthy. She's just really little. 2 pounds and 3 ounces.
She's so small.
Yeah.
Little nugget. But so last Sunday, Kiana's water broke, but she
Hold on. What were y'all doing when the water broke? Because we were supposed to record an episode.
she was at work. I was at home.
So you get a call. She said what?
She said, "I don't know what's going on, but I'm about to go to the hospital." Like she didn't know her water broke.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna meet you up there." Meet her up there. Say her water broke, but she didn't go into labor. So when that happens,
She didn't know her water broke.
no.
They make it dramatic on TV, so I
Right. Like it's a flash flood.
Like
Yeah,
a- She knew something
we
was
ain't get no
happening.
alert on our phone.
Right. I didn't
Right.
get no alert that he water broke.
Right. She knew something was happening, but she wasn't sure exactly what was going on. So she's in the hospital, water broke, but she didn't go into labor. Since she's so early, they don't want her to go into labor.
Right.
They want to keep the baby inside as long as possible.
Right.
Anyways, so last Thursday,
Bro, wait. When you got the call, what was going through your head?
I didn't know what was happening. She didn't know. She was like, I'm going to hospital. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to make sure she's okay.
You thought it was like a routine, just to check or something.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I was going to be with her. But anyway, so she's in the hospital from Sunday to Wednesday. Then Wednesday night, she has some people over. They bring her some pork chops from Big Mama's Chicken.
All that stuff.
And wait, was that the day y'all came?
We came.
Wednesday.
No, we came on Thursday.
No, y'all came on Wednesday. It was Wednesday. Y'all were there.
No, I came Thursday.
No,
No, so they brought the chicken on Tuesday. We visited on Wednesday.
they came Wednesday after y'all. Remember, because y'all were in there. Remember, all those people came in and out.
Nah.
No.
Oh, am I tripping? I'm tripping. That's Tuesday. Okay, never mind. Never mind. So yeah, Wednesday. So they bring her the pork chops. She eats all the pork chops. The doctor comes in and is like, the baby's heart rate's going up a lot, right? So
Right after she ate the pork chops?
probably like a little bit after. Big Mama's pork chop. Anyway, so she's like, we're gonna go ahead and have this baby, basically. So then I message everybody, let them know, and then she had to have an emergency C-section, and everything went well, man.
Okay. I hate when people tell a story like that and they be like,
everything went well.
Yeah, there was an emergency C-section and then everything went well.
Everything's good.
In the story. Cool. Mm-hmm. Were you in the delivery room? Because you know that's always the scariest part.
I was trying to avoid this.
No, we're gonna talk about it. Right. Were you in the delivery room?
I was in the delivery room. I recorded the whole thing.
I saw the video.
I watched everything.
Bro, you better than me. I don't know if I could just.
And I did great.
Did you?
Until after the baby was delivered, I watched the video back a couple times, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to throw up. And the doctor was like, you know what? Let's go and get this man out of here. Get this man a wheelchair. He's going to pass out. I was just completely not necessary. I'm just feeling a little sick.
I'm in the little drown.
So the littlest nurse in there throws a cold towel on my head, puts me in a wheelchair, and she's wheeling me out. And we have all black nursing staff, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the nurses, while I was walking out, she was standing at the door looking at me. And I was like, this is not how my night was supposed to go.
Wait, where is Key when all this is happening?
So I'm surrounded by 3 nurses, and there's one doctor just with Key. And she's the one
You took all the staff.
took the whole staff.
You big men are babies.
So they were rolling you out in a wheelchair?
They rolled me out in a wheelchair.
With a cold
And
towel.
I had to pass by and look at my daughter.
My dad's a whip.
But as soon as I got out, I'll tell the nurse, I was like, you really don't have to do this. I just got up and walked off. I was like, oh, man.
What if he would have got out the chair and
And
then
just
fainted?
collapsed.
Right. That would have been
Yeah.
me, bro. Fainted for sure.
So, yeah, man, I'm a dad, bro.
How does it feel?
Feels great.
Do you feel like now that she's here, like, because this is the thing. I feel like women, because they have to carry the baby, the baby becomes a part of them, like, for like the first couple of months. Like, they already start the whole bonding thing.
Right.
I think for men, it don't become real until like the baby's here.
Right.
Then it's like, okay, oh snap, I'm a dad.
Right.
And I gotta take care of this baby. So, like, how has that transition happened for you?
I even think that women are more connected early on because they have to feed them and stuff like that. Like, the baby needs the mom
Right.
early on. So it's almost like definitely the mom's going to be more connected to the child than the dad at first. I still have a connection, but it's like I don't really do anything but watch her. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I have a connection, but it's not that strong. Like, I think more for us is I feel like we have to get to know them or like get used to being around them more.
Right.
Yeah.
Like where the mom has been with them the whole time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. And probably also because she was born early.
Right.
Right now, you really haven't had that.
Right. Yeah.
That true opportunity.
That's a good point.
Right.
So since she was born early, she's in the hospital still. So she has to stay there till her delivery or original due date, October 7th. So it's like I don't really get to hold her that much. I get to touch her, but I don't get to hold her. So it's like it's not that strong of a connection yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough though, bro. Like to just
That
have a baby
That
and
is
then,
tough.
Yeah.
and then like be like, so she's at the hospital and you're here at the house. Like that's
Yeah.
I feel like that's very difficult to navigate.
Right. Like obviously you want to be with her or her to be with you, but you know, it all happens for a reason.
Yeah. And on the positive note is that she's healthy.
She's healthy.
And she a little trooper.
And the wife is healthy.
And
And you said she looks like you, right?
Looks
You
just
ain't
like
gotta,
oh
you
my
ain't gotta
gosh.
ask too many questions.
Bro, it was so weird.
Key must hated you. They always say anytime somebody a kid looks like the mom, I mean looks like the dad, people always be like, "Ooh, you must have hated him, Mom." Key must hate your stinking
I
guts.
hope not. But yeah, when she was born, when she came out, I was like, it was like watching myself being born.
Shut up.
She came out and I looked at her and she looked exactly like me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. It's like I watched myself being born.
I'm trying to picture you with hair.
She only has a little bit of hair.
Damn.
So she doesn't look like Key?
Not yet. I'm pretty sure she will when she gets older. Yeah.
She got. I will say this. Coop showed me the video when I went to the hospital. She got some long legs, bro.
Yeah, just like Key. Yeah.
She got some long legs,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all are both pretty tall as a couple. So she probably gonna be WNBA.
Yeah.
Here we come.
We playing tennis, baby.
Oh, you right.
You know what I mean? We're not gonna mess with that basketball.
Or get into golf.
Golf too.
Oh, she could.
We doing both. We doing both, man.
We
got
waiting to
this.
dominate.
We got this, man. We got this.
What if she don't want to play sports?
Then she'll be smart like her mom.
You cool with that?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I prefer that.
Yeah.
It could. What would she be like for you?
What do you mean? Smart like her mom. Tall like her dad. Yeah, but
We can go with that.
But yeah. So all that happened, and actually, it's funny because last episode, Dante, you touched on grieving, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. The
So-
process of it.
So when Kiana's water broke, she was upset. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because she's like, she's gonna miss out on a lot of things. You know what I mean? So like baby shower, she didn't have the baby
wow,
shower.
No baby shower. Yeah.
Didn't get the pictures, maternity pictures.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, y'all didn't get to do that.
Right. So Kiana, she got emotional because she was missing out on those things, right? And then of course me, being me, I'm like, it's okay. Like
Yeah.
everything's. I mean, the baby's healthy, you're healthy, everything's good, you know. But then I immediately thought back to what Dante was talking about with grieving. So it's like I had to allow her to grieve
Right.
those things. You know what I mean? Even though it wasn't a big deal to me, it was a big deal to her. So it was important for me to allow her to grieve missing out on all those stages. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And then another thing came to mind. I realized that women grieve in the moment. And I think us as men, we grieve or deal with things, a lot of stuff later.
We try to. We try to
For
push it
sure.
off.
For sure. Well, one, kudos to you for being able to take a step back.
Yeah, I think that's huge that you like recognize
Yeah.
that and was able to like shift.
Allow her to
And I
space.
only thought about it because of that conversation we just had.
Come on. Soundboard.
Yes.
But I think that, so you think women grieve in the moment?
So like
think
women
that
will
women
start
are-
crying or like
But I think they're naturally more emotional. Like I think, of course,
Right.
women and men both have emotions, right?
I think
But I
it's-
think they're a little bit more emotional. So in the moment, they're like expressing, feeling all of these emotions. Whereas men, I think, more times than not, are logical. So it's like we're processing things through. So it's like when those things happen, I'm pretty sure your first instinct was like, okay, what's the solution? Like, what's next? What are next steps? What needs to happen?
Right.
So you're trying to think of like the outcome, think of like make sure you have everything taken care of. That like provision, protective nature
Right.
comes in. Whereas a woman, for the most part, is probably like in that moment, you know, experiencing it. Especially if she has a partner who allows her the space to do that.
right.
Right, and dudes also naturally, we come from a perspective of it could always be worse.
Yes, that's
So
yes.
it's like for
yes.
Coop,
Right.
He's like, okay, yeah, we didn't get to do those things, but like
At least the baby's healthy.
the baby's healthy and you're here, like you're healthy. And so I think from that perspective, it is also a way that men tend to think, and women are just like, yeah, that's cool, but like these are the moments that every
Right.
every mother looks forward to,
Right, right.
But
Do you think that's why?
no, I was just gonna say that's why we just gonna do it bigger and better.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right.
And now, Key can drink at the baby shower.
Exactly.
She can. There's always a positive side. to
We
it.
about to turn up.
For sure. I was gonna say, do you think that's why it was delayed for you whenever, and not necessarily grieving, but like just the processing aspect, it was delayed for you after you saw the delivery, then watched the videos.
Yes.
Then you were like processing everything that
Yes,
happened,
yes,
and you were
yes.
like, oh, I think I'm about to throw
Right,
up. But in
right.
the moment, it was your mind was working so fast, there was things were happening. But once you had that time to process
Right.
what you just experienced,
Oh my God.
bro, me would have fainted in the moment.
Threw up. Threw up.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I was talking to Nick, and he was telling me, he was like, I was talking to him about that, about the grieving, and he's like, the thing with guys though is we grieve in the most inopportune time. So like
Right.
something will happen to you, and then something will trigger you way later, and then it'll come back out. Where women just kind of deal with it like in the moment.
Well, I think part of that is because dudes are going to naturally. I don't think we don't recognize the emotions. We just push it off. So for
It's
a lot
suppressed.
of it's suppressed. So it's like, yeah, but I'm finna, watch TV or go play my favorite sport or like go do all these things. And then when you finally sit down somewhere, it hits you like a brick wall.
Like even like dating. So like a girl breaks up with, or a girl gets broken up with, they crying for weeks. They doing
Right.
it. Guy gets broken up with, he back in these streets.
Right.
Yeah.
Until that one night, you find some of hers, you be like,
Got
Yeah,
Drake playing in the background.
and you over there laying down, holding yourself.
For real.
That's
for real.
always how. That's literally always how it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah. But yeah, enough about that, man. Let's talk about last episode.
What about it?
We were a little tired last episode.
I don't know if people could tell.
I don't know. If y'all could, I'm sorry. If you couldn't, good.
Man, it was. I feel like it was so much going on for everybody.
What happened? I don't even remember.
We did the photo shoot. Remember our boy came?
Oh,
we did the photo shoot.
shoot.
And y'all,
Side note. Oh my God.
y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready.
Wait till these photos drop me on your head.
Yes,
Shout out
sir.
to Caleb for sure. And then so our photographer's our photographer.
Yeah, I like that.
Soundboy
All right,
photographer.
yeah. No,
He
gonna
the
come on the
photog.
road. He's gonna come on the road with us. He's gonna come on the road with us and shoot all of our
our shooter.
he's gonna be our shooter. We putting the whole team on like LeBron did.
At special access.
So our shooter was in town. He's from Louisiana, so we had to show him how we get down to Dallas.
Knock it down.
But the problem is, we old.
We moved different. Boy, we moved different. It must have thought we were still young.
So we did the photo shoot. Then we went out to eat.
Nap.
Then we took a nap. and
No, it started the night before.
Oh.
JJ moved.
then- yes.
Because I moved all day the night before. And then, so Caleb was in town. And him and Coop came and helped me move. I don't remember where you were, but you just weren't there to help me move.
I was.
But
I was with Olivia.
oh yeah, that's
and
right.
Jay,
Yeah,
because
that's
Jay
right.
was going out of
That's right.
town.
That's right.
Oh.
So after we moved, it was already late. We spent
I got
all
home
that
at
evening
1.
moving, and then we went out to eat after that. So we was up just chopping it up. Got home late, and then got up early for the photo shoot.
Right.
And then we went out to eat after the photo shoot. Then JJ, I'm blaming JJ. No, I'm gonna blame Dante.
What?
Cause you're like, he's in town. We gotta show him a good time. We gotta.
Because because when people come to the city, I always just feel a pressure. Like, look, when you come to the city, this is different. But like, let me just do a PSA real quick. Don't just come to the city randomly and like people don't know you coming and you expect people to like move their whole schedule around. Because I've had people be like, yo, bro, I'm coming to Dallas. And I'm like, okay, and
Right.
let me know how your stay was.
Yeah.
Right.
But like Caleb was here. He's a friend of the podcast. And it was like, we can't just let him come. Like, he's doing us a favor coming all the way
Right.
from,
Yeah, I want to show him a
Louisiana.
good time.
We
So
just want to show him a good time.
so anyways, we end up going out around midnight or something.
Literal midnight.
So we get to the lituation at midnight,
Yeah, bro.
and we 30. So we supposed to be leaving around 11. Like we supposed to get there like 9.
We supposed to be back at the crib.
We supposed to be back at the house at 11:30.
Bed by midnight. Sleep.
Then we thought we could come in here and podcast after getting no sleep.
Right. Because we woke up like everybody. I woke up, went to church the next morning, had to be there super early, and then we pod right after that. No energy.
No energy. So anyways, we're 30 and we're trying to relive our 20s.
We just don't have it no more.
So basically, we came to the conclusion that old habits die hard.
Yes.
If you let them die.
Or they live on.
Bro, for
They
real.
live on.
I mean, because even when he came in town, I immediately went back to how we used to kick it back
Right.
in the day.
Right.
We need a
Immediately.
bottle. We
Right,
need
right.
to-
Like let's go
Right.
out, let's hit the scene.
Right.
Versus, why don't we just kick it? Why don't we just go over to somebody's house?
Play some spades.
Yeah. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
we would have had a way more. And let me be clear, y'all. We went out. We sat in that section and talked. We could
Buy
have
these expensive drinks.
We could have did that on somebody's couch in somebody's home.
Yep.
Caleb was on whatever vibe we was on. I even tried to buy him a drink. I was like, hey bro, like you want a drink? He was like, no, I'm good. we would have had more fun like coming to somebody's house, listening to music, watching TV, like just enjoying each other's company.
What is it about? Why did we not like? Because we don't really do that anymore.
We don't even go out. That's what's crazy.
But I think for so long we were doing that. Like whenever somebody would come in town,
That was the
or whatever
thing.
it is, like we going out, like we
Yeah,
turning up, we going
yeah.
up, we going up, we going up. That's what we
Right,
always do. Hey,
right,
we come in
right,
town, we going
right,
up, we going
right.
up, we going up. So that's like old habit we have. That's the best way to celebrate somebody coming in town, versus recognizing that lifestyles have shifted a little bit.
So this is the thing. So I have a question for y'all. What is the habit that you probably need to let go? And I want our listeners to think about this too. What is the habit? Like for us, we just talked about how like when people come into town, like doing the whole "let me take you out," blah blah blah. Like that's the habit that we need to get rid of. Like, what is a habit for y'all that you
can
think
tell you
you
mine.
need to let go?
What is it?
Reckless spending. So when people come in town, bro, it's like I go by this notion that I'm an experience guy, right? So I bought into that.
Right.
So whatever the experience cost, I'll spend.
Right.
So whenever people come in town, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go out to eat. Let's go out to eat multiple times.
Right.
Let's go out in the city. Let's turn up. Let's do whatever it is. I'm just spending my money.
Right.
Right.
And it wasn't until like the next day when I recognized, like, kind of just how we had this conversation about we could have just had a kickback, we could have just
Right.
kicked at somebody's spot. That I'm like, all this reckless spending, as much as we talk about like how we want to be intentional with like
Right.
finances and things, I'm investing my money and resources in other people's dreams. Right. So
right.
like my reckless spending is not funding anything that I want to do.
Right.
It's funding. It's funding something that everybody else wants to do. Whatever section we was in, whatever drinks we was buying, that's funding somebody else's dream. And I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to go in life. And these old habits need to die, but I keep going back to them.
Every time I try to leave, something keep pulling me back.
But it's really not even just finances, right? You can extrapolate that further and think about like the time that you spend, everything that you're doing. Is it funding what you wanted to fund, or is it funding somebody else's dreams? Right? Like, what are you investing your time in?
This boy out here preaching.
Look, I need to take my own. That applies to me.
What habits do you need to let die? All of them.
But
All
yeah,
of 'em.
reckless spending, bro. Reckless spending. I could have saved so much
You
money.
have to think. What you
So I'll go. So I'll say one of mine is, and we've talked about this. This is something that's still a thing for me. Getting people to talk you into doing things
Right.
that you necessarily know you don't necessarily want to do.
Right.
So like this weekend was a great time, but I knew from the jump what the agenda was. Like I knew the agenda was like to turn up the whole weekend.
Right.
Now I also knew that I ain't about that life.
Right.
That life. But I still went on the trip. So before we even got on the trip, we were like, dang, bro, how did we get here? Like, how did we let people talk us into driving all the way to Houston? And then this is the thing, it worked out because I was with like-minded people.
That's
So
important.
like me and JJ and like our bro JG went to do our own thing, and it was separate than everybody else. But it was
Right.
kind of one of those things where it was like we just went out, got some food, like
Yeah.
chilled. It's like we could have did that in the city.
Right.
I will, however,
Not the
say-
same though.
No, not the same.
Yeah.
I will, however, say the brotherhood was the best part of it. So
Yeah.
like we did get to chill in those moments where like people weren't trying to like go out and stuff.
Yeah.
The best moments was like us chilling on the couch. We don't have to go to a whole nother city to do that.
Right.
Like, we can do that in the DFW.
Right.
So I'll say the habit that I need to do and still working on, because this pisses Coop off about me, is allowing people to like talk me into doing stuff. This time it worked out, but that hasn't always been the case.
But I think the thing is, you knew what you were getting into, and you didn't overexert.
Right.
You went somewhere and then you did what you wanted to do within the realm of
it. Was
you know.
like, okay, we here, but like we still not on that. Like we knew off top, like, bro, I'm not trying to do that.
Right.
So we just kind of went and did our own thing. Still ended up being a good weekend, but I would say just allowing people to talk me into the like. I begin off the initial hype or like wanting to do it for other people.
Right.
So like other people be like, yo, D, I really want you to be there, and I'm like, okay, let me be there.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I need to let die.
I don't know if this is a habit, but it kind of goes with what I talked about earlier with Key. And I think I've told JJ this before. I read something that there's somebody that could be positively toxic. And I think that
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, and I was like, dang, that is definitely me. But like, well, I wish I had the list. Dang, I wish I had the list. But anyways, it's like people that tell you, like how we said, oh, it could have been worse. But like, instead of letting somebody go through their process of whatever they're going through, they try to just constantly uplift you. But you know what I mean? Sometimes that can be toxic. So I'm very much like, I do not like any negativity. If you're negative, it pisses me off. Like if you I don't like people to be down around me. Like, so.
Why do you think that's a bad habit though?
It's because I don't allow people to go through what they're going through. So sometimes you have to feel your feelings. You know what I mean? So if I'm like, you're being dumb. Why you feel sad? You know what I mean?
Right. It could always be worse.
Yeah.
You idiot.
You know what I mean? So it can be a bad thing, you know, to some people.
Yeah. So you did like the example of you just even taking a step back, allowing Key to grieve.
Right.
You making progress.
Right. Like I don't like people to cry around me or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm just like, hey man.
King, that's
Why do y'all think it's so hard to break those old habits though? You know what I mean? Like, because we say old habits die hard, but if we know the habits, why isn't it that easy to just...
Bro, this is the thing. If you've done something for long enough, it's going to be your natural bend.
Yeah.
Like, naturally, it's going to be your natural bend. And so, if we've been doing something like, let's say Coop, his entire life, 31 years, he's been the guy that's like positively toxic. He can't just stop being positively toxic.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's gonna be the thing that's natural for him. If at the root of my thing, which is crazy, I'm starting to realize is people pleasing. If that's at the root of who I am, it's gonna, and I've been doing that for 31 years. It's going to, dang, bro, I just diagnosed myself. What do I be paying this therapist for?
You should be just paying us.
Right.
What do I be paying him for? He a great therapist, but I'm low key just like diagnosing myself. At the root of it is people pleasing, and so I have to get out of the habit of people pleasing, bro.
That's so funny that me being that toxic. You just said you diagnosed yourself. Me and Jaden were talking about somebody that was in therapy or something, and he's like, he's had a breakthrough that something. I was like, he didn't know that about himself.
No, it's always harder to like know about yourself, like because you yourself. Like it's always hard. Like other people can see it.
I feel like I know a lot
I
about
feel like I'm
myself.
constantly
This is the thing.
self-reflected. Like I'm thinking about.
Be clear, I'm very self-aware.
Uh-huh.
But for that, like that, I never would have considered myself a people pleaser.
Right.
Because on the other side of that, I'm also like very much like I don't really care about what people think.
I think that's a lie.
It's the-
I think that's a lie you tell yourself.
And it's probably certain people that you want to please. It's probably not
It's
everybody.
you know what? It's not everybody.
Yeah.
Like, let's be clear. I don't really care about pleasing everybody.
Right.
But like people that are close to me, my friends, my family, I do care about pleasing
Yeah.
those people. So yeah. So I would say it's just it's hard because if you've been wired a certain way, like literally from a scientific perspective, your brain becomes like your habits become ingrained in your brain.
Yeah.
And so you literally have to like rewire your brain.
And that's another reason why it's important to have good habits. Because just how it could be negative, it could be positive.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you practice doing the right thing, then it'll naturally just happen. You don't have to think about it type of thing.
Yeah, you essentially are restructuring those neural pathways.
All
Boy,
right, big words.
Since
Well, you-
Dante is a scientist.
I am a scientist.
But so even to that point, right? I was reading David Goggins. Y'all know.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
And in that, it's in the book. He's always talking about like surpassing this mental limit you put on yourself, right? Like mastering your mind.
Wait, do people know who David Goggins is? He's a lunatic.
He's a lunatic.
Like,
He's a genius.
dude, like ran a whole marathon, like
Broken legs.
pissing blood.
Yeah, basically, he went through 3 hell weeks in
Marines.
the Marines. Yeah, he went through 3 hell weeks. He ran 100 miles in 3 days' notice without any training. But in the book, he kind of talks about like where it started from and like how he kind of got there. Right, he had a whole traumatic childhood and everything that he had to overcome essentially to get to the point to where he is now.
Right.
But the whole premise of the book is talking about mastering your mind, right? Like
Right.
we always have limits that we put on ourselves, and surpassing those limits. We just don't think that we can. But once you
Right.
think that you can, like you just have to. A lot of things are more mental than anything, right? So once you master your mind, once you can surpass those limits, you can pretty much do anything in this world.
I
Right.
believe that.
But speaking of him being a lunatic, like some of those things is like extreme,
Right.
Like really extreme, right? So like it makes me think about the limits that we put on ourselves. Like how do y'all challenge y'all's mind and like do y'all feel like y'all surpass those limits, or how do you challenge yourself on the mental front?
I don't surpass it.
And also,
Do you challenge yourself?
No,
Oh,
I
go,
just-
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say also, there has to be a point where you like there has to be a cutoff. Like would y'all accept advice from somebody whose only limit is death? Because I feel like that's
No.
him. Like he pushes himself to death.
Right.
Essentially, like it's either I'm gonna accomplish this or I'm gonna die.
It,
I'm gonna die trying.
it depends on what it is that I need to get done. Like, what if it's to save somebody you love?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like John Q type stuff. Like
Yeah. So I mean that's situational, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But in general, like
in general, probably not. But you know what makes that hard? Challenging yourself. So I don't know if I heard this somewhere. And they were talking about the difference between your mind and your brain, right?
I like where this is going.
So your brain is there to keep you safe.
Right.
So you're running, you're like, I'm in pain. Your brain is telling you, you should probably stop. Like, this hurts.
Mhm.
And then you have to, your mind, you master your mind. You're saying, it hurts, but it's not going to kill me. Or I can get through this type thing. So I think that's the difficulty of just like challenging ourselves and getting to the next level. It's like we depend on our brain too much and don't, give into our mind.
That's good.
That's good. Because I will say, bro, that's a bar. That is a bar. And the reason I say that's a bar is because, like you said, like your brain is there to protect you. So your brain at the very core is going to try to protect you from any type of like opposition or
Right,
like
right.
embarrassment or
Right.
like fear. And I'll say that's one of the things I struggle with the most because a lot of people will notice about me, but I am like I have a very negative mindset about a lot of things, and so it keeps me from trying a lot of new things.
Right.
Because the first thing that always comes to mind is, well, what if you get out here and embarrass yourself, or like, what if you're not good enough, or
Right.
like, you definitely can't do that.
Right.
And so it becomes one of those things where you have to literally work to like like we talked about earlier, like rewire your mind.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm trying to practice is, instead of staying there, because you're going to have negative thoughts.
Yes.
Like I heard somewhere where they said you're always going to have negative thoughts. It's just how loud are they? And so when you master your mind, it doesn't stop negative thoughts from coming.
Right.
It just stops them from being so loud.
Right.
It stops them from like blaring that you can't hear it. So you hear them, but you're also like, I hear that, but I also hear like what could happen, or
Right.
like what's possible, or
Right.
like
That's
what
good.
what would happen if I do X, Y, and Z. And so for me personally, I'm working on acknowledging the negative, like acknowledging the fear or whatever it is, but then also countering that with truth. Like, okay, you are like this is possible. Like, what will happen if you do this?
Right.
I'm still trash at it, but it's like I said, a work in progress.
But you're aware.
I'm at least aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, first step. What about you, JJ?
Yeah, me, I would say I'm working on it by like by paying attention to what it is that I'm taking in.
Mm-hmm.
So like what my mind is consuming. Because I'm a firm believer of like you can control your thoughts, right? So even just that narrative of the fact that like you have control over your thoughts, you determine what thoughts you want to pay attention to, what thoughts you don't want to pay attention to.
Right.
Kind of what Dante was saying, like you have control over that. I think there's times that we as people often go on autopilot, and whatever thoughts come in, you just take a hold of that. Before you know it, 5 minutes later, you're dwelling on this thought that just entered your mind.
Yes.
But if you can intentionally think about, I have control over these thoughts. I can choose to continue to dwell on it, or I can choose to let it go and focus on something different. That starts to rewire those neural pathways. It starts to change like the direction in which you go. So for me, and I really get that from, this is all foundational for me from the Bible, right? Like it talks about taking control of your thoughts. And so I think that trying to fill my mind with things like that, with the truth versus the lies, kind of like what Dante was saying, helps me to become mentally strong. Right. And it helps me to direct my thoughts, if that makes sense. Like be able to focus on which ones I want to, or be able to pay attention to which ones I want to focus on and which ones I want to let go.
Right.
You know what's so crazy? I was watching this TED Talk, and it's all about this idea of like the 5-second rule. And so if there's anything that you ever want to do, or before your mind can allow the fear and stuff to take off, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you immediately start taking action. So like you may not necessarily want to work out,
right?
But you say you count down, you be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and
go.
then you immediately get up, put your shoes on, and then like just go do it.
Yes.
Because if the longer you sit and you think about it, the more like it's going to give you an opportunity, your brain, to come up with all of the, well, this could happen, or this could happen, or this could happen,
or
or
it's
this
cold
could go
outside,
wrong, or this could go wrong. And so it was a whole TED Talk about like counting down from like 5 seconds of like just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then immediately after that, just get up and do it.
I really like that. I want to try that.
Yeah, I think also just thinking about where do these limits even come from? Because a lot of times when we have the limits, they're based off somebody else putting a limit there. Like we that wouldn't be a limit if we didn't see somebody else stop at that point or something like that, right? So just being able to think outside of the norm, outside of the expectations or whatever that's already put there. Right. That's difficult though.
Yeah.
Like it's difficult to try to.
I was kind of thinking about that. So that kind of, when you know your limits, when you think you know your limits, you kind of see where you're going to stop. And I think that like America's like obsessed with youth, right? So the main advantage to me of being young is that you have like an ignorant confidence. Right. Like you don't know that much about what happened before you, but you feel like you can conquer anything. You know what I'm saying? And as you get older, you kind of like, you see what people have done around you. You're like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to do this now. You know what I'm saying? So if you kind of keep that youthful spirit in thought process, like if you have a little bit of ignorant confidence, I think that can go a long way sometimes.
I like that perspective.
Bro, that's actually, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Like, but
that's the same thing that makes you mad at young people though. Like, you don't know anything. You haven't.
Right. Sit your little stupid stuff down somewhere. So my, my pastor always talks about how like he did a sermon this one time and was just like, when babies are born, they're only born with like 2 fears. And then like, as you grow older, you just accumulate all these other fears of like just anything, fire, spiders, like whatever it is. Right. But like you're only born with like 2 fears. Right. And you accumulate everything else. And so the older you get, the more fears you accumulate just from like your life experience or something. So when you said that, that's what made me think about that, because I think that's good. Yeah. So we need to just be youthfully ignorant.
Sometimes, you know what I mean? If you can have ignorant confidence and you can have informed confidence, like that you're good at something because you've trained to do something. Like a doctor, you talk to a doctor, they talking to you like what I'm saying is facts, right? You know what I'm saying? But then you can also have somebody like
that little kid who was talking about he was a doctor in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's what it takes, right?
But he fooled so many people,
Right. He was just so ignorantly confident. Like, I know what I'm talking about. And
though.
didn't know anything.
People was in there believing it.
Right.
I think you have to have a drive though to like want to break those those limits, because even you hear the story all the time about like they didn't think that a mile could be ran under 4 minutes.
Right.
Right. So like it was facts to say like there's no way it's not humanly possible
Right.
to run a mile under 4 minutes until somebody did it.
And now a lot of people can
And
do
now
it.
everybody
Right,
breaks it
everybody
in
doing
4
it.
minutes,
Right.
right? So you have to have that initial drive to be able to like, who says that this is a fact?
Right.
Let me push beyond that.
Right.
And bro, you know what's so crazy about that? Like the Olympics, they just went off.
Right.
Like the Olympics just went off. But you had all these people like breaking Olympic records.
That amazes me.
Right.
Like breaking Olympic records that have been in place for years,
Right,
bro.
right.
Like been in place for years, but like they out here just breaking them joints. 1, boom, 2, boom, 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 boom. And it's like, dang, bro, that's crazy to me.
And you know what I think about when I see that? I'm like, there has to be a limit.
What do you mean there has to be a limit?
What if people keep breaking records? So like, let's say they can throw a ball 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
In every Olympics, they beat it by a yard. For let's say 50 Olympics
Yeah.
from now, we used to be able to throw a ball 100 yards. Now people are throwing the ball 150 yards.
Yeah.
You know, like there has
But-
to.
It forces people to be better.
That's what I'm saying.
But
So-
there's also been a lot of like development, right? So if
Right.
you think about strength and conditioning
50
years ago,
Right,
when they
right,
were
right,
breaking
right.
these records, that there's been so much education and information out there that now that people train completely different, right?
Right.
But I'm saying even like FloJo's record just got broken, right?
Mm-hmm.
That took that much long to break her record. But then what if it gets broken again? Like, I don't know. It just, like,
Where's the limit?
It blows my mind, bro. This just lets you know that you can really, like, we are not going as far as we can go.
Bro, I think humans can be superhuman.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I think, like, your mind and your body is equipped to do way more than what we use it for.
Right.
Like, we stop because it's just like, oh, well, this is all I can do.
Mm-hmm.
These are my limits. But, like, I feel like if we really just was out here, like,
Right.
the human body could do way more. Like, they be saying you only use, like, 6% of your brain or something.
He
like,
is a
your
scientist,
brain.
huh?
Your brain can do. I just spent a whole
Fact
bunch of
check that sound.
Bro,
Fact check
Bro,
that.
let me tell you an interesting fact about me. I Google everything. And so if you want to know what I do in my free time, bro, I be on YouTube watching videos.
Right.
Like, I'll literally be like, how do you do X, Y, and Z?
Right.
And I'll just watch a YouTube video on it. But, yeah, bro, they say we only use like 6, I think it's maybe between 6 and 10% of our actual brain.
Right. So we're trying to be limitless, man. For sure. But I think that's it for this week, fellas. We appreciate everybody listening. As always, check us out on IG at the Soundboard.
Oh, wait, the Soundboard
Podcast.
podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, the question this week that we're going to post is, what is the habit that you need to get rid of? Like, what is the habit that needs to die hard? Like, what is that habit? So we shared what ours was. We want you guys. This is how we build up the community. We need y'all to like go in and like put that.
And shout out to Dante, bro, pulling up with the hoarse voice.
Yeah,
and
man.
everything. We pulled through.
Dedication.
We made it through.
We had to do it, bro. My mindset is this: like this early in the game, if we allow excuses to get in the way, then it's going to be easier for us to have
Yes.
excuses in the end.
And to be honest, if Chris had a whole baby and you didn't show up to record,
I had the baby. It looked like I had the baby when I was
that boy was getting wheeled down the hallway.
One doctor on kid. Go ahead.
He got all three.
Oh,
But
my
yeah,
God.
check us out on IG at the Soundboard Podcast. If you want to follow me on IG, you can find me at thisiscoop_.
Yeah, if you want to follow JJ, follow me at _Jeremy J.
And I already know y'all want to follow your boy, Deep Voice Poppy.
Boy can't do like Barry White.
You can follow your boy
D-Smooth.
Dante at Dante DONTAE Speaks Life. I've been dropping some fire photos.
Oh yeah, a lot of heat coming y'all's way. A
Talking
lot
about
of
me,
heat.
Dante over here trying to move solo.
Oh yeah,
I think I'm gonna post a new one tomorrow.
yeah. We gonna talk about this. We gonna talk about that. Hey, we out, man. We out.